Hello, all. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Thank you for showing all the support and sending out all the questions that you had around after the first video. We'll continue doing this, and I'm pretty sure that we'll cover all your questions that you have sent me via email or social media. So, in the last video, we talked about how you set it up, if you're coming from a prior version already on cloud, or if you're in BC 28, how you set it up. As I said earlier, we'll be covering each and every subtopic into the quality module one by one. The sequence may look odd, but at the end, a lot makes sense the way we kind of covered it. So, without further ado, let's start. So, today we're going to talk about quality inspection results. So, to put it simply, quality inspection result represent the possible outcome of the quality inspection. So when you do some test, what kind of output you expected, right? The typical examples are saying, oh, the quality test is in progress, it failed, or it succeeded, right? Which would have been an obvious choice with the option in LLM. But at this point, what Microsoft did is let it be more flexible to kind of change it based on your customer requirement. So in quality inspection result, you can configure as many results as you want and in what circumstances those occur. So let's talk about it and let's see what quality inspection results are. So I head up to my business central and I search for a page called quality inspection results. Now what you see here is what you get from default, which we briefly discussed, that we have result code as in progress, fail, or success, and then these come with their own description. Now in progress means the inspection is incomplete or is still in progress, whereas fail means that the inspection has failed to meet the quality criteria that you will be defining going forward, and the pass means that the inspection result has met the quality criteria. But let's assume your organization wants something else. They don't want to live with in progress, pass, or fail. But you can easily go ahead and do to define more. Let's take an example. Let's say I'm not into it. I'm looking on my products from their quality perspective of, let's say, excellent, and then I need to give it a description, excellent, and then come the important point, which is evaluation sequence. Now understand evaluation sequence because that's very important of how you do it. In the evaluation sequence field, enter the number that correspond to the result. Results with a lower number of evaluation sequence will be evaluated first. So if you look at it, what came default by Microsoft, which is in progress, fail, or success, the evaluation sequence also follows 0, 1, and 2. So the first thing that will be evaluated or executed will be at 0, then following 1, and then pass. Now, what Microsoft did, and I haven't looked at the code, but to make this as the unique key. So if I try to say 0, it'll give me an error that you cannot. Okay, let me do 1. Hopefully then I get the right error. Yes, evaluation sequence priority must be unique. You cannot have two results with the same evaluation sequence. So that means I need to have it 3 or more than 3, but we're not going to create it, but just for an idea. So let's say if you are evaluating based on excellent, good, and acceptable, then you need to define those evaluation sequence based on your requirement. So if you're going to do that, first you'll have to delete all 3 that come by default, which is in progress, fail, and success, and then define what an excellent mean and what good means and what acceptable means, right? And then define their criterias or evaluation sequence. The next, what you see here is result visibility. Now, result visibility is the field where you specify whether you want to promote the result, which typically means the emphasis on different pages and report related to quality, or you just want to show it as a normal field. So the configured value or promoted. So once you choose it promoted, on the appearance section, you can come here and define what style you want. So if it is promoted, you then are allowed, okay, to choose a override style, which is something which we have seen for all these years in nav and business central at a field level. All right, you can define the standard accent, strong, and strong accent and other things. Now the value that you choose here will be visible on the pages related to quality to kind of highlight it, and also on the reports related to quality like certificate of analysis and other thing. So just keep in mind that this is what it is. Typically you will use, let's say, promoted to green, or what we call that, favorable on a pass condition, or an attention on a fail condition, so that it kind of helps user to identify what's actually happened at that point. Now the next important field here is result category. Here you specify whether the result represents something good or bad, right? So here you say acceptable or not acceptable or blank. So when it is from the Microsoft perspective in progress, then the result category remains blank. If it's pass, then it is acceptable, otherwise it's not acceptable. And then the finish allowed, it's a very important field because it tells the system whether to allow inspection to be completed if that particular result is reached. So let's go back here and look at this. So in progress, there's no result category, but whereas fail says it's not acceptable and pass says it's acceptable. Now let's come back to this we are trying to build. So that majorly covers what on the journal tab. We have covered the appearance tab and then the default condition. So now just from a setup perspective, if you want to say what the default condition will be for it, you can define that. Otherwise, typically you will leave that empty. And let's see what Microsoft is doing here. Yeah. So they say that if it is a fail and if somebody is testing on a number field, then a fail means not equal to 0. Default value for text condition is not equal to blank, and boolean is no. So this just helps us in the later videos to set up these results. But now let's come to the very important section, which is item tracking restrictions. So as the name suggests, there are restrictions that you can add based on what kind of result it is. So for example, let's talk about purchase. Okay. So when a quality test fail for a document type purchase, and the item that is used in that purchase document is item tracked or lot tracked, or the other track that's available, like lot, serial, and container, right? So if it follows any kind of tracking, either lot, serial, or package tracking, then you can define how the impact of your result will impact it. So like here it says purchase allow, but you can block it. That means if my test fails, then I don't want the document to be posted, and it'll block that transaction if the result says fails. Same for transfer, assembly, and the whole warehouse section. So you can define based on your result how you want system to behave. So let's say if you're trying to post a purchase order and the item used in purchase order is either lot, serial, or package tracked, as soon as user tries to post it, if it fits into the criteria of quality and the quality fails, then that document will not be able to post until unless the quality is test is succeed or it comes to the pass stage. Okay, so after you have configured these results, now in the next video we'll talk about how you use these results into actual test, right? But for now, if you're following the series, what I would highly recommend is, based on your requirement, define the results that you need. For me, I'll do the demo on in progress, pass or fail. The reason of doing it earlier is what you will understand into the next video, because that's where result kind of confuses you if you haven't configured or understood it. So here you can see that if it is in progress, it does not allow it to finish. That means here you will notice that it is not allowing it to finish. But if it is a pass or a fail, then it does allow it to finish. And then all the booleans that we saw here are also available on the list, like sales, purchase, transfer, consumption, and all those things. So you can either configure it by going into edit list and say, oh, if it fails, I would like to block the transaction. If it is even in progress, then I would like to block that transaction. So what I'm saying is, as soon as the quality gets triggered, it blocks the in progress or the fail status, as in, so whenever you send it for quality test, it comes by default to the in progress stage. So that's where I'm stopping it to do sales and purchase. And let me also do transfer. So what we'll do in the next video is, starting from here, how you use these test into, these test inspection results into quality test, and then how all these different tests kind of combines into something that we can then apply to different documents. Hopefully it makes sense, and hopefully I'll see you sooner than later on the next video, and you have your quality inspection test defined as per your business requirement. So stay connected. If you have questions, please put them into the comments. As I'm covering it right now, it makes it easier to answer your questions. If they come at the later stage, it kind of becomes confusing for me also. And then at the end, one request, that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and then do share this video with at least one person whom you think this will help. If possible, share it on social media. I'll see you sooner than later into the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep sharing whatever you're learning. Thank you and have a nice day.